this is going on here. Let's see if I can live chat. All right. Hopefully that works. Probably a little bit early here. Can you guys see me? All right. Sound okay? Somebody comment. Hello. I don't even know if anyone's here, so we're gonna see if this is gonna work or not. Hopefully my headset's working. Do. All are visible. All right, so I think it will pop up whenever somebody says something, hopefully, but we will see. So what's up, guys? Hopefully you guys liked the video today. It was very, very old school, so we'll get into editing and stuff like that a little bit later, hopefully. But yeah, I don't even know what to talk about. Wish you guys would say something. Ah, there we go. Hear you loud and clear. Okay, so it actually works. All right, so what do you guys want to talk about? Know about anything like that? It does look like the stuff will actually pop up, so I can actually read your comments. If I miss one of your comments, just say it again, because I don't think it stays up for very long unless you like pay for it, and you guys don't have to pay for it. From the Philippines, what's up? Yeah, the video today was just like collecting eggs. Hopefully you guys liked it a little bit. It actually shows some of the eggs that I actually or some of the projects I'm working on. So there's another person saying they can hear me. That's awesome. I don't know how many people are here. I think it's like 8. What kind of white and yellow stuff am I doing? I'm actually not doing really any white and yellow stuff. It's kind of funny. I only have one white and yellow animal, actually. So, and it's a Bell albino white and yellow. So it'll probably go to, it's actually het for radar. So I will be putting that thing to like some funky jungle het radar stuff. What am I most excited for this year? Definitely the clown stuff, because that's what I'm working on the most. And they're asking what clown and Joker stuff I'm working on. All right, hold on a second here. You guys are going way too fast. Let me get like a couple of these like done here. Clown project stuff. I'm still working on doing some white and yellow, or not white and yellow. I'm just reading other comments. Doing some more colorful stuff to the clown project, making the color last a little bit longer, because it does fade a little bit, and I want the pattern and all that stuff to stay a little bit longer. It is getting crossed into some Black Knight stuff, and that's more to make the color a different color than it is to make it black. Then there's also some like darker reds that are going to be put in there and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just trying to read these all the time. Sorry if I didn't or message me back if I didn't get back to you on Facebook. I'm sorry if I didn't get back to you. Sound good. Oh, it disappeared before I had a chance to read it. Whoever just messaged me last there, message that again. There was a comment on there about what do I feel about breeding lemon frosts. It's probably not a good idea. That's just my take on it. I'm not going to hate on people that do it or not do it. People that breed things, that's their choice to breed things. I'm not the president or dictator of what people can breed and what can't be bred. I know what I'm going to be breeding, and I have no interest in working with lemon frost stuff. I'm actually glad that I was not part of the hobby during that time, because it was not a good time for the leopard gecko community. as a whole. I don't think some people invested a lot of money into it and it didn't pan out, and that sucks. So I'm really sorry for all those people. Um, but it's like the people that still breed enigmas. I don't have anything negative to say towards it. Whatever people want to breed is on them. But other people will have negative things to say about those type of people, and that's it's going to sort itself out, I think. um, I have nothing bad to say about any breeders right now, honestly. Like, I'm here to do my thing, and that's all I'm going to do, is do my thing. And my thing is going to be the clown stuff. um, and it's really going to be a project of like passion more than anything else. That I want to improve them, and I want to make them look cool. And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm not working on a bunch of crazy combos and stuff like that like I used to. The collection's pretty small, as you can see. It's all behind me right now. For the most part, there's some on this wall too, but that's it. So yeah, the clown project stuff is really what I'm working on. I'm working on color and contrast of um, things. There are a couple other things that I'm working on, but nothing too major. Um, but I'm not working on any like cipher stuff or um, honestly, like, really any, like, even Eclipse stuff for the most part. I do have some Eclipse stuff in different projects, but I'm not even really working on that very much. I'm actually trying to breed Eclipse out of things, if anything. But it's just because the collection's small and I'm not trying to get into everything. It would be cool to try to make my Solar Raptors again and make, like, full carrot tail on a Eclipse Raptor, but it's not the main priority right now. So there's that. So what else you guys got? Hopefully you guys don't say it all at once and then I can't see them all. Actually, maybe I might be able to like look at past comments here. All live chat. Feeling like old times? Yeah, it does feel like old times, right? It's only been, what, almost 10 years. Um, some of the stuff that I did in the video, collecting eggs, I'll go over some of that stuff with you real quick. In the video, like, I use the markers and they're different colors, and that's just kind of to know which week stuff was actually hatched. So that way, whenever I'm looking at eggs, I just have to look at everything that has the certain color. And those ones should all hatch within like a week time frame of each other. I use 4 different colors. The other thing that does is whenever I write it on the tub, usually if, say, so let's go with the colors that I normally use. So I use red, green, blue, and black. So let's say I use red this week. I will know that if there's only one female in there and she already laid eggs last week, she's probably not going to have eggs in there the following week. So that's another thing that I use. So almost like whenever you're looking at the tubs, it'll almost skip a color. That's why I use 4. Because if I only use 2 colors, all the female would lay every other week, and then it would be all the same color. So that's why there's actually 4 different colors. So it's kind of weird, but you'll actually see, like, on different tubs, they'll lay on different weeks. So it might only be like red and black on a tub, instead of like all 4 of the colors. But it's just something that I started doing a little while ago, and I kind of liked how it works, and that's just what I do. So I know that I just missed a comment, so let me look and see what it was. How can you tell the difference between male and female? All right, that's a pretty good one. Hold on, I gotta get that to disappear. Let's grab 2 random geckos then, and then I can actually show you what the difference is between a male and a female. So this one is a boy. Hopefully he'll cooperate and not be too crazy. Let's get a different one because he's like kind of spastic. Well, here's a cool looking girl. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. Where's my camera at? All right, so see right there, like at the base of the tail, no bulges. That's a girl. How it's kind of like flat right there. A male will be, let me see if I can find a male that's not gonna spaz out and freak out. Trying to find all my males. Here's a male. So this is a big, funky jungle male, and bang, that's a male. And you can actually see his pores really well. That's how you can sex a leopard gecko. It's actually pretty easy. So we'll do one as a test to see what you guys have learned. Go with this one. What do you guys think that is? Put a comment. First one's the winner. I think there's like a heavy delay, so I gotta wait for you guys. Yeah, there you go, female. Very good. Here's another one. He's gonna freak out. Well, I just gave it away, so let's not use that one. Hopefully I can do this without dropping my phone. All right. Whoop, 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 whoop. I know. Quit being crazy. You guys should know that one pretty easily. Male, perfect. All right, you guys are batting 1,000. No, I don't pop them like a ball python. You don't need to. Like, if you can't tell the difference between that, like, you need to get glasses because it's pretty easy. I think even my camera can pick that up pretty well, and that's just my phone. So, yeah. But, guess I should show you guys, since you're in the live, the clown to clown cross, because she's crazy looking. She gets a little bit lighter and darker throughout the day, but for the most part, she stays about the same. There you go. She's a little bit darker now than she was in the video this morning, but you can see how crazy. So that's like red. So let's get, so you guys know, like orange and red, like it's more on the red than it is on the orange. That way you can kind of tell the colors. She's pretty awesome. I can't wait to have babies from her. She'll be bred to the original clown male. I am going to post pictures of the original clown male up on Instagram, so you can see what he looks like now. I took those earlier today. I just didn't want to post them too early because then nobody would watch the video to see the very end. But I will post pictures of what that male looks like right now. So what else you guys want to see? I'm not going to show you too much crazy stuff because, like, there's got to be some secrets. But I can tell you, like, stuff to know, basically. Oh, and then these containers here are what I'm using for incubation containers now, how they have, like, the individual things. This one actually doesn't have, like, a space there. So what I do is whenever, like, one container will have, like, 4 eggs in it, that's what I use for that one. And then just fill it up about 3/4 of the way with perlite, and then add water to that, and that does really well. Do you have any plan on what direction you're going to go in, as far as what? Like life in general, or like what I want to do with my leopard geckos? I'll wait for you to respond to that one. Do I have any Nephrurus species? I do not have any Nephrurus right now. A friend of mine has some down in Texas. I think he has Levy's and Levy's Pilbur. Any Black Knight Tangerine crosses? Actually, I do, but they're like really, really weird in a way where I'll actually show you. Um, all right, so these guys are, let me get organized a little bit here. So these two animals that I'm about to show you are actually from the same exact parents. They're Black Knight crosses. Hold on one second, and I'll answer more questions here in a second. So this is a Black Knight cross, and you can see like how, trying to get him to calm down a little bit. I'll put him back down. He didn't really have much color at all. And then this one is actually a sibling, which is kind of crazy. Like it's really, really tangerined out. So that's a huge difference between the two, and those came from the same parents. Here's another Black Knight cross. So you can see how like this one almost has like no color whatsoever. These are not snows either. So it's very, very strange. And then back to the one with color. So that could make some very interesting combinations if read correctly, I think. But those are from the same crossing. Do you have any Turkmenicus kicking around? I do not have any pure subspecies here except for Hardwicke. My friend Scott in Texas has all of the subspecies stuff. He's got Afghanicus, Turkmenicus, Fasciolatus, a couple subspecies of, or a couple localities of Agrameneu, and then I have the Hardwicke here. And then I think he has Montanus as well. He's got almost all of them. Do I have any Diablo Blancos? I do not have any Diablo Blancos. That's so funny. We actually just talked about that at the show yesterday. I went to the Long Island show yesterday, and they actually sell very, very well. Also, you inspired me, my major in college, molecular biology with, oh, that's awesome. Studying genetics. It's kind of funny that the genetic terminology that we use in the reptile industry is actually not correct. Like codominant is actually incomplete dominant, but we have messed it up so bad that we don't actually like call it what it should be called. But speaking of subspecies, I'll show you the Hardwicke because the Hardwicke are super cool. They're just like a weird animal because they're almost like a they're more like a fat tail, honestly, than anything. But they're so cool. Saying hi, just checking everything out. But they're awesome. And then there's another girl in here. There's actually a trio in here. That one that I just showed you was the female. This one's the male. The males stay slightly thinner. But they're pretty awesome. I love Hardwicke. There will always be a special place in my heart for them because of being the second one in the U.S. to produce them. All right, let's see what else you guys got in the live chat. Yes, it's really backwards. What's my favorite type of leopard gecko? Probably my clown project stuff, just because that's what I'm working on, honestly. And it's just a project I've been doing for well, took a few years off of it, but a project that I never really saw get to its final stage. And that's why I want to work on it even more now, is because of that. I would rather work on it to make it look like really, really super cool. So, yeah, that would probably be the one that I like the most right now. But there are some really cool stuff out there that I've noticed that I wouldn't mind getting into eventually, or getting into other projects and stuff like that. Just right now, like, I'm focusing on like one thing and not getting all crazy and trying to have every single like project known to man out there, because it just gets to be a lot. So I'm just building a an army of clown stuff basically, and there's going to be a lot of clown stuff available this year, and I'll hold back the coolest looking ones and try to make them even cooler next year. So yeah, there's that. I would show you the clown mail, but um, firebolts. Yeah, actually, I've got, how many genes can you get in one gecko? You can actually get a lot of different genes in one gecko. You could probably get all of them if you technically tried, but it wouldn't be that ethical. What's the secret to downsizing? Not hatching as many and selling like more than you're keeping. Impeccable gecko. That's funny. Um, it's hard because, you know, you hatch out really cool stuff and you want to keep it, and then that turns into having, you know, 6 to 8 babies the next year, and you're like, oh, I want to keep that too, and then it just escalates from there. Do I have any super giants? No, I don't have any super giants. Um, I don't believe in it as the genetic that it is marketed to be, so that's why I don't have any, honestly. I believe that you breed big gecko to big gecko, you get more big geckos. I don't think it's a recessive like the. I think it's kind of funny how it's changed, how it acts genetically over the years. It doesn't. It's still the same thing. Um, who's my favorite leopard gecko you have in your collection? My clown male. He's definitely my favorite. Um, which he is um, like close to 8 or 9 years old now. But he's my favorite that I still have, just because he's been through everything with me. Literally, whenever I only had like 10 animals, he was one of them that I kept. So he is one of my favorite ones of all time. Are you getting into new species other than leopard geckos? Um, I have a lot of species actually. I have blue tree monitors that are over there, yellow tree monitors, black tree monitors, green tree monitor. I have green tree pythons. I have emerald tree boas. I've got monkey tail skinks that are freaking awesome. I've got giant day geckos. I've got a breeding group of crested geckos that I'll show you the clown male in a second. Um, I have a breeding group of crested geckos that are red spotted Dalmatians, that a guy worked on for about 8 to 10 years, and I am entrusted with the project. So they're going to be really awesome. I think I have a couple pictures on my Instagram if you guys go check those out. Um, I do have my mossy frog still, um, and I breed a bunch of guppies, which is really strange, but my guppies are really cool too. So, um, but yeah, yeah. So you guys want to see the clown male? I think he is right here. He's probably getting ticked off that like I've been trying to handle him all day because he's not used to that. But this is the original clown male. He is like really dark right now because of breeding for the last month. But he does have some cool coloration to him. Whenever I post the picture on Instagram, you'll be able to see these little green spots. This camera is not going to pick up these green spots to it. But he is probably like my favorite. Um, and like I said, he's been um, he's been there for, you know, the past 8 years. I mean, he was kind of born like right whenever I was getting out, and I only got to breed him for a year, maybe 2 years, right before I got out. So we haven't even really got to unlock his potential yet. Um, I think that in last year, he wasn't quite ready to be into the breeding cycle last year. Whenever I first started, he wasn't up to weight because I kind of kept him a little bit thinner so that he would live a little bit longer. I didn't want him super fat, like, while he wasn't breeding because, that's gonna give him fatty liver and he's just gonna die early. So, he was on a very regimented diet, and I don't think he was as, like, primed to breed, whenever the girls started ovulating. So the first and I think a couple of the first girls that I put him with, they just threw bad eggs anyway, because not they're actually not even ovulating yet this year, so I don't even know if they were too old. So I was getting bad eggs, so I kind of put him on the shelf for a couple months, and then put him back in towards the end of the season with a couple females, and then I got good babies out of them. So I think whenever I first started breeding him, whenever he was, just getting started into the breeding season, it was more of he was more interested in food than breeding, so he didn't really breed right off the bat. What are the most excited to work with right now? Leopard gecko wise, or like the animals that I have wise? I mean, everything that I have, like, I'm excited to work with. I don't have any animals anymore just to have animals. Everything that I have is either pets or uh, like the clown project that I'm working on. It's all for a purpose. It's not before, like, I used to have leopard geckos just to make more leopard geckos, of certain things, and it wasn't that I was really into the projects because I had so many of them. Now it's very, like, strategic and doing what I love instead. I'm getting into breeding. Get me on learning the basics. Watch if you need to learn all the basics. Watch all my videos first, and then kind of go from there. That's probably a good way to start because it's hard to teach somebody new everything right off the bat. Take everything you see on, like, Facebook forums and stuff like that with a grain of salt because um, it's interesting the stuff that they preach. Some of it isn't exactly correct in every situation. So you got to find out what works for you. If you go through my videos, uh, you can actually see what I did back in the day, and I've actually changed it since then. So it all depends on the situation, what actually works and what doesn't. Like before, I used to put wet paper towel in with my babies. And now with the situation that I'm in, it's actually bad to do that because it doesn't dry out fast enough and it grows bacteria and it's bad for them. So I don't do that anymore. So there's little things that I still do, and there's things that I don't do anymore. Um, how often should you feed your leopard gecko? It all depends on how big they are. My adults, they usually get mealworms put in a bowl like once a week, and that's perfectly fine for them. They kind of eat them whenever they want, so they kind of like a gorging and then kind of like a fasting each week. The babies usually anywhere from like once to twice a week, I'll feed them, but it's the same situation where they're in the bowl, and then they kind of eat as they go. Um, will you be using Morph Market to sell your leopard geckos? Probably. I'll probably get a Morph Market account once there starts to be a lot of them. With the crackdowns on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that for selling animals, it's a little bit tougher of a situation to do that on Facebook now. Um, I have done it, but you have to be kind of careful about it because they can shut your whole page down, and I don't want that to happen either. Um, I have been watching my videos. All right, cool. Um, yeah, I mean, it's if there's anything that you want touched on, like in particular, maybe I can make a video about it, and then that way it can just go up on YouTube, and uh, then everybody can watch it. Just message me on Instagram or my Facebook business page, and if there's anything in particular that you want, and I'll see if I can't make a video about it. Maybe I can make some shorter videos so then they're not like an hour long of me talking and pulling eggs or whatever. I want to try to make them a little bit shorter for you guys because that does take a long time for. I need to learn how to edit so that I can just mince and match them and get them smaller. Uh-oh. Do you still mix Vionate and Osteoform with calcium vitamin? I just switched to Repashy calcium. Oh God, don't go away. Oh, there we go. I can actually do it like that. Getting hard and expensive to import those products to Canada. Oh, I didn't know they can import them to Canada anymore. I still use Vionate and Osteoform SA, um, but I can still get it here in the U.S. And then I actually had some like from previous. Actually, here's a little container of it pre-mixed, and then the Osteoform SA, and I think I still have the Vionate over here. Yeah, the Vionate. So yeah, I still do the mixture. It's like 4-to-1, of 4 parts this, 1 part this makes this, and then I just pour this into the dish with the mealworms. Um, but I think they have changed like the ratios and stuff like that, like here and there. So I don't know how true it is to the 8 years ago Vionate. Let's check and see what else we got. Do I have a video on understanding the genetics? Yes, I do. Facebook police are probably watching now. Absolutely. How many geckos did you end up producing in 2021? Honestly, I'm not sure of an exact number, to be honest. Like, I produced some, I sold some, I held some back. Um, I honestly don't know. I don't keep track of every single animal, I guess, that I produce, which is kind of funny that I don't. But it's one of those things where I don't keep an accurate count. Like if you were to ask me how many leopard geckos I have right now, I couldn't tell you the exact number. I could give you a guesstimate, but um, like I know the individual animals, and if I sat down, I could probably write them all out. But to know a number, I don't know them by number. I just know them by where they are in the racks and stuff like that. So and I know the genetics by just what's written on the tubs and stuff like that, and by their appearance. So I don't have an actual like count. I guess there's after you get to a certain point, you just don't count them anymore. It's not productive. Um, I was into breeding. I was about to get a Murphy's patternless patty from. Oh gosh. Um, um, Golden Gate Gecko does have the best Murphy's patternless. I don't know what you mean by I'll mix it up with a gecko genetic and morphs are closely related. But I got in it first because it's less genetic. The Murphy's patternless from Marsha are freaking awesome. And if you're ever worried about like them getting too genetically closely related, just breed it to a subspecies and then breed those babies back to each other, and um, you'll get an outcross, which would be a lot better, honestly. Um, how many? I'll take you up on that offer, bro. My name is Eddie. Nice to meet you, Eddie. Um, how many geckos do you think you'll produce in 2022? Honestly, like I don't know how many geckos I'll produce. It could be a really good year. It could be a crappy year. I mean, you never know until like babies start hatching. I mean, you could have problems with, infertility. You could have problems with males not breeding. They're live animals. So to be like, hey, I'm gonna, produce 500 of them this year, like that's, you don't count your chickens before they hatch, kind of thing. Like I'm already up to, I mean, literally, I just started collecting eggs 2 weeks ago, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 37 eggs in the last like 2 weeks. So, and that's just the beginning of the season. Um, I mean, probably, I mean, there's a very real possibility of getting 400 to 500 eggs pretty easily. But we'll see. Earlier said that you were looking for possible egg-bound females. What actually is the next course of, no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is the next course of action if you find one? I had one last year, and okay. So for an egg-bound female, it's there are a couple methods to take care of it. One, you got to keep the animal hydrated. Like that's a big one. Once she can't push the egg out, it's bad news, for sure. Um, I would recommend taking it to a vet. But again, like you said, there is a real possibility that they might not wake up. So there, from a vet perspective, there are a couple things that they can do. They can do a surgery where they cut the animal open, take the egg out, and then, sew the animal back up. That's probably the most invasive. There are a couple other options that I've seen done where um, you can actually stick a needle into the egg, try to suck out the yolk, and then see if the animal can pass that egg itself. I think Nerd actually did a video of doing that on a snake. Actually, I know they did. So it's kind of like that situation where you would suck out the contents, and then that would make the egg smaller. So hopefully it could pass on its own. The other thing that also is a possibility is that I've seen done is to manually push it out. Um, I would not try that if you're not experienced in anything like that because you could literally bust open their insides and it would die in your hands. So egg binding is a major freaking deal. Um, and sometimes you don't have to do anything, and sometimes they'll resorb. Um, so it's one of those things where I check just to make sure that it's not going on for like 3 weeks, and then you got a major issue where it's necrotic and it's the egg is rotting in the body. Um, During breeding season, I always check the bottom of them to make sure that there's nothing going wrong in the abdomen itself because I've seen where eggs can kind of like almost explode inside of the female. That's bad. I think it's called dystocia, um, where basically you can have a rupture and then basically all that stuff starts to get necrotic and the animal's going to die if it doesn't get taken care of, which is bad news as well. Um, and like I just said before, like these are live animals and anything can happen. And you got to be cognizant of health issues that can arise with breeding. Prolapsing of the males is a big one. I've only ever had it happen probably like 4 times in my career. But whenever it happens, it sucks. The key for a prolapse is you definitely have to keep it clean and moist, and hopefully it'll like kind of suck it back in on its own. You can put like a sugar water solution on it to try to relieve the swelling, and then it sucks it back in. Sometimes there's a plug in it that if you can massage it and get the plug out, then it'll retract itself. The biggest thing is don't make sure your males aren't dehydrated. I think that's what causes it a little bit is dehydration. So you gotta, make sure that your males are in good health and they're not too overly zealous and try to, you know, breed like crazy. Um, or it's like their first time. Usually it's like first time males that will prolapse. So you just got to be careful of that. Um, the but prolapsing does suck, and if a male does prolapse, don't use him again that season because he'll just keep prolapsing. Give him some time to heal, and hopefully the next season he won't prolapse. But yeah, that's some of the health issues that you got to watch out for. Hopefully that answered your question on that stuff. Let me see what else we got here. One crested gecko egg. Good job. I think I have 3 right now out of the 1.2. Are breeder boxes with the heat tape going down the back okay to use with leopard geckos, or is that for pythons only? I use belly heat instead of back heat. but I've heard of people using both. Um, so it all depends on what you want to use. If you have a warmer room, probably back heat would be fine, but I use belly heat. I was getting into the Nephurus because it was a fresh start, because leopard gecko morphs are actually really closely related, especially with the albinos. So, I mean, leopard geckos in general, yeah, a lot of them are closely related, but you can outcross them with subspecies, and then that strengthens the bloodline. Um, I don't think inbreeding leopard geckos is as bad as people think, as long as you're doing like you're starting with a big gene pool and then you're kind of weaving them back and forth, because then you're kind of like outcrossing as you go. If you start with two animals and you just keep breeding those same two animals like back to each other, that could probably lead to issues. But if you're constantly like kind of infusing other stuff as you go, you shouldn't have an issue. I don't think that um, any three strains of the albinos are super inbred by any means, because we've outcrossed them like to a lot of different things over time because of all the new mutations and stuff like that. So I don't believe that the albino leopard geckos are um, of any of the three strains are super inbred by any means, unless it comes from a specific person that hasn't added to their lines in a long time. What are your thoughts on the toxicity of alphism when it comes to? Oh, damn it! Hold on. Oh no, where'd it go? Live chat, where is it? What are your thoughts on the toxicity and elitism when it comes to the debate between those who use belly heat and those who use DHP or heat bulbs? Um, Interesting. I stay out of a lot of the groups and stuff like that, so I don't know if there is like what's going on with that right now. I use belly heat on my leopard geckos, and it works perfectly fine. Um, I don't think even in the wild they would be out basking in the middle of the day. So honestly, if they're going to be out like at night, the sand is going to be the warm part. So that is belly heat. I don't think they're designed to be heated from the top, if that makes sense. Um, but that's just my opinion. Because if you think about it, like in a desert in Afghanistan and all that stuff, it gets colder at night. So um, basically they say if you use belly heat, you are Satan. Really? Well, they need to go like see what the actual like place that these things come from actually is like. It's they're not out during the day. They're nocturnal animals. We all know that. So in Afghanistan, Pakistan, where they're from, and they come out at night, the ground is really, really warm, but the air is cold. So they're not out sunbathing like a bearded dragon in the middle of the day. So belly heat is probably more what they're naturally going to find in the wild, honestly, because the sand is going to be warm. The sand, rock, clay, whatever it is. Belly heat is Satan. Well, I'm Satan. Sorry, because I use belly heat. And imagine that I've hatched like 10,000 leopard geckos and not had a single issue. So actually, for me, I hate using heat lamps because they're more of a fire hazard. So I'd rather not burn my place down. So that's also one of those things. Have you ever seen how many melted plastic edges there are on aquariums that are used for reptiles? Yeah, you don't see that with belly heat, especially on a thermostat. So there's that part. So I'm looking for buying in some racks for geckos. Any company that you would recommend? All of my racks are animal plastic racks, but good luck getting one because I think the wait list right now is 6 to 8 months. So you better get on the waiting list and, then you have time to save up and get the racks. It is like a long time. Not even worth asking the info on Facebook groups nowadays. You'll just be put on blast and damn it. Damn it. You'll just be put on blast and not even get proper advice or information. Yeah, Facebook's the devil, honestly. Um, there's so much bad information on Facebook in any genre of stuff that you get into. I'm the only Facebook groups that I actually get involved with are um, the Prehensile Tail Skink group. That group is awesome. I'm technically, I think, one of the moderators or something on it. But everybody there actually cares about the animals and actually gives out good information instead of BS, like what they think is good. So that group is the only group that I actually participate in on Facebook. I do watch the tree monitor group, just because I have them and try to get ideas. But um, I I think I'm in a couple leopard gecko groups, but I've never posted, honestly. So hoping to do an import from the US later this year. I'd like to put some of your lines in my stock. Absolutely. I don't have an exporter right now. One of my friends was actually looking into getting his export license, which would be awesome because then I could ship to the UK because a lot of people in the UK want my stuff. But I can ship anywhere in the United States. So if you have an exporter that you like to use, I can ship to them and then they can ship them to you. I probably won't have anything that would be of size to go overseas until like June, July, probably, just because I like to get them a little bit bigger before I ship them overseas. I like to get them at least 20-ish grams, maybe a little bit bigger before I ship them overseas because it's quite a journey for them. So I'd like to get them a little bit bigger if they do go overseas. Um, Animal Plastics took 1 year and 2 months for me. Never again. That sucks. I'm really sorry. That's why I never sold my racks because I knew it would take 3 freaking years to get all my racks back. Plus, like, I'm not selling a $600 rack for $300 and losing money. So they actually are all in storage except for the ones that I'm using. Let's see here. Is there any other comments that I missed? I use Reptile Express. I believe their office is in New York. Interesting. So Reptiles Express will actually, well, you're in Canada. So yeah, I can ship to Canada using Reptiles Express. It's other places that um, I have to really look into how to get them over. Yes, you need a real piece of the sunlight now to fit in a Facebook group and a 10,000 gallon for your leopard gecko. That's really crazy that Facebook groups are that bad. I like Instagram. It's much calmer over there. I have Vision Racks and they're decent, a little expensive. Yeah, Vision Racks aren't too bad. There's a couple other like rack companies that are good. I've just always liked Animal Plastics because that's what all mine are. So it's one of those things that they all match. But there are other rack companies out there. Actually, if I get new cages for my tree monitors, they're going to be Tamira Design cages. You guys should really look into those. Those are freaking awesome. They're basically chameleon cages that the guy customizes, and they have drainage systems in them and everything like that. So they're freaking awesome. I can't wait to get a bunch of those for my tree monitors. Um, what else do we got? Building your own racks is always an option. I'm not that handy, so you think you will ever be a fourth albino strain found? There's always a possibility of a fourth albino strain being found. I think there would be a different genetic more than an albino, but it's always possible. Stuff can always pop out. I had a female that laid only one fertile egg and not on her second egg the first clutch. I've never seen one in her animal. Now she's on her fourth clutch. It's not normal, but so this is a kind of a good question here because I can actually go into a couple other things. I have a female that only laid one fertile egg and not her second egg on her first clutch. Even if I still see one more egg in her abdomen, she eventually resorbs it. Now she's on her fourth clutch. Is that normal? So there might be just a problem with the oviduct itself that she can't get that side out. I actually have one female behind me right here that she actually laid 4 clutches last year, and they were all single egg clutches. Like it's almost like she doesn't have the ability to make an egg on the one side, so she only lays one egg at a time, which is kind of weird. The other weird thing that I just actually noticed that is actually in my Instagram live, but I didn't want to like draw too much attention to it at the time. But my Black Knight female that's right behind me, I went to pull an egg that she had laid, and I looked around, I couldn't find the egg. That's because she ate it. I actually looked later in the tub after um, that whole fiasco of like not finding it, and you can actually see right here, like the yolk of whenever she squeezed it, and it leaked all over the inside of the lay box. So for some reason, she ate an egg. I've never actually seen that happen before, but she ate her own egg. Um, so next time, I'm just going to have to pull it a little bit faster or something because I don't want that to happen, especially on the cross that I'm doing with that, because that's the Gem Bold Clown cross to the Black Knight. Um, and that would suck to lose that. Sorry, I'm like covering up my stuff here. Um, one more. Do you go live randomly or do you have set days? I'm going to try to go live more on set days, but we'll have to figure out what that day will be, and then you guys can come and hang out. Um, any tips that we should know about leopard geckos? Oh, there's so many. You'd have to come up with a problem, and then I could give you hopefully a solution. Sell me one of the ones in the storage. Nope, I am not selling any of my racks. Sorry. That's like my food dishes. I will never sell any of them. Um, I put on meditation music off of YouTube, and all my babies seem calmer. Interesting. I don't know if music actually has any effect on leopard geckos or not, actually. Um, Sobek Saturdays. So I can't have a life? Is that what this is? I got to hang out with you guys on Saturday nights? That wouldn't be too big of a deal. I might actually try to start doing at least like one video a week, and then maybe two, but we'll see how that goes. I might just do lives instead because it's easier, and then I can talk to you guys, and you guys can actually ask me questions. Um, Man, I remember years ago watching your videos as a kid. Nice to see you still kicking. Hope you're doing well. I've sadly gotten out of geckos lately. What's your most exciting morph coming up? The Clown Project stuff is definitely the most exciting stuff coming up. And you guys already missed it. I already showed the coolest one, but I'll show it again. Tips on getting Leos to stop snubbing millworms and only liking dubia. Oh, you got an animal that only likes dubia. You gotta you gotta train it to um try to get it off of that. Like, I mean, you could try maybe superworms and then eventually going back to millworms. That might help. Um, but sometimes whenever they get onto a certain food item, it's hard to get them off. Um, I like just keeping them on millworms, and then if I have any that are a little bit like problem feeders, then feeding them something else to get them jump started again. But um, yeah, that can be an issue, especially if dubia are like hard to come by because can be kind of expensive. Um, what else do we got? Um, Maybe do a round table with other breeders. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a round table with other breeders. Maybe even doing like a live here and there with other breeders. I'm friends with a couple breeders that would be cool to do lives with. Take the head off the millworms and get some. Oh god. Oh, All right. Oh, damn it. Damn it. I hate whenever I do this to you guys. Take the head off mealworms and get some goop in the gecko's mouth. That will work, especially with babies. Um, so basically, what the guy says is to cut the head off so that you get some of the juice coming out of the mealworm, and then you rub that on the side of the mouth, and then the gecko will kind of go after it a little bit. Um, I've also done with babies, and like this is kind of controversial, but like the skin is like thick enough that it doesn't hurt them. Is you take the mealworm and you actually let the mealworm like kind of pinch the lip of the gecko, and then the gecko will eat it. That's also another thing to do if you want. I raised a gecko on dubia. He was pretty lean. So got him on millies. Took off growing. Yeah, because I mean, with mealworms, they're higher in fat, so they will fatten up much quicker. Dubias are probably higher in protein, I would think. Um, but dubias are also good for like breeding females to get some weight back on them like quicker. Um, I like dubia roaches. I have a colony of them. Um, it's mainly to feed to my tree monitors, though, for the most part, because they like to eat roaches. They also like crickets and bugs. That'd be awesome. What's up, Calvin? Got quite a few people here. I'm glad you guys are joining me tonight. It's a boring Monday here in Connecticut. All right, so now I will show a couple animals again because what are my thoughts on NBDE? I don't want it in animals that I sell, but I do have a male to test breed things with. Um, so he's actually test breeding with a female right now that is possible het, just to see if she's actually het or not. Are enigmas still around? Yes, enigmas are still around. I remember the morph having genetic issues, maybe with politically correctness of the era. Those morphs would be frowned upon. Um, it's really weird. Like you would think that with all the political correctness, certain more mutations would not be around whatsoever. But there are still people that have in their collections Lemon Frost and Enigmas. And I touched on this earlier. I don't hate on anybody that like has them in their collection or whatever. Do I think they should be bred? Probably not. I won't personally breed them. Um, the especially the tumor issues with the lemon frost, like that's pretty awful. I've had animals, um, enigmas that they lived out good lives. I mean, the first original dreamsicle, he lived for freaking ever. He was probably, I think, 10 whenever he passed away. So I mean, they can live a decently long time. Um, so it enigmas. It just sucks because you never know what you're going to get with them. Honestly, you could get a strong one, you could get a weak one, and it's not worth the reproducing it. Um, the Albie Snow male, yes, I still have him. He is actually over here. He's usually pretty spastic, but he's right there. He's awesome. This is a Albie line bred snow from Impeccable Gecko. I actually, Impeccable Gecko got Albie Snows off me right whenever I was getting out, and I was fortunate enough to get a male back from him. I don't really have any plans for him, unfortunately. I should breed him to something, but it's like I don't want to breed him to a tangerine because, like, if I breed him to a tangerine, then he won't be that nice black and white color. So I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet. I might actually breed him to a tangerine just to get babies out of them, and then maybe I don't know. I should breed him because he deserves a lady. I have a female with him in there, but honestly, I think she's too old. She hasn't ovulated in the last 2 years, so I don't think she's ever going to lay eggs again. I think she's too old. But he's in there with her. They live together. It doesn't stress either one of them out. You saw how like nice and fat he looks. So I wish that they would Uh, I wish they would technically like breed, and then I could, have like pure ones. Actually, let's see what Impeccable just said. Nice. He is a light still for a technical cross. I got to get you a pure pair at some point. Yeah, that'd be great to have a pure pair. Yeah, he's super light. Even for being an outcross. I can't remember what you crossed him with, but um, it's one of those things that he's still really cool. I almost need like a really like a normal looking animal. And I might actually outcross it to like a fasciolatus. My friend Scott has fasciolatus. Maybe I'll get some of those or a Montanus and cross those into it, and then keep it like as pure as possible with an outcross. Um, I will show my tree monitors in a different live because like they literally scratch the hell out of me whenever I get them out, and I don't wear gloves with them. So um, and yeah, their claws are just so sharp. They rip me up like real bad. Um, what's wrong with NDBE? So the big thing that's wrong with them is they have smaller than normal eyes. I'll actually see if I can show you the male. All right, so this is a male, and see how like the eye is actually like smaller, and usually they have black eyes as well. But see how the eye is actually, it looks smaller than normal. That's what it does. It's like a genetic thing that causes the eyes to be smaller. So comparative to the possible het one, which her face is small, see how big the eye is comparative to that other one, and she's like flipping out. So like this one, you can clearly see how like big the eye is and stuff. This one, it might actually be het for it. It is a little bit more inbred because this one is um, a Mandrian crossed to Black Knight crossed back to itself. So with the Black Knight, it probably caused it to have more of that shorter snout, and especially with that Mandrian line in it. So that's what's wrong with the NDBE, the black-eyed animals, is the eyeball itself is actually smaller than normal, and usually they'll have a little bit more of a smashed-in face. Again, I'm not like hating on them, but it's just not something that I want to breed for. I want them to have a normal body structure and then work on the color and pattern. They're not for everybody, but I do have him to breed him to. I have two females that are possible het, so he's going to breed to both of those females, and then I'll see if the females are het or not for the Nordesire. Do. I met her, but she's a pet now for ethical reasons. Yeah, black holes are really cool animals, and I'm glad she's still doing well. Um, sounds like you got one that is doing well. So, um, how did the NDBE originate? It originated out of Mandrian line animals. Whenever they were bred back to each other, it was floating around. I've heard that. Yes. Somebody just asked, aren't visual NDBE females not fertile? I have heard the same thing. Um, I have never bred them because I didn't have them. Um, the hets definitely are fertile because those animals produced or I don't know if they're hets or not. I think they are um, because that male came from the same project, so it's a good possibility that it's in there. Um, the females, I have heard that they are infertile. I've heard that the males are fertile though. You're welcome as far as all the information goes. Um, and then there's another person that's had issues with failure to thrive from the animals with the smaller eyes. Interesting. I wonder what abnormal behaviors have you seen from them? because that would be interesting to know as well. What's up, Samuel from Panama? Glad you could join us. Probably only going to stay on for another like 15 or 20 minutes because this video is going to be super long for people to watch. So throw me some more comments before we get out of here. But yeah, that's why I have that male, is so that I can test breed them against 2 females, and then once I prove those females out one way or another, he'll probably be retired unless I get an animal that is possible het for that, so that I can test breed. He's going to be kind of a test breeding male, and then all the babies will go as pets to people that want them as pets. I won't sell them for breeding purposes because you know. Well, I need to do a collab with you at some point. Maybe we can do a live together, and you can show us your frogs. When's frog breeding season down there, and you can like take us on a little hike, and we can see some of the frogs. You got to get better Wi-Fi down there, though. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so for the people that stayed with us, I will show the pure clown female one more time because I showed her off the beginning, and you guys probably missed her. Are lemon frost still a thing? I recently saw some for sale and thought they all died out because of cancer linked to the gene. I don't know how many lemon frost are still out there. I don't keep track of stuff like that. Beyond shades of green, orange, yellow, and the black, we have with the Black Knights, do you think there will ever be other colors like blue, even as a stretch dream? I don't think you can create blue with leopard geckos per se. I think you could create something close to purple though. Because I think where the green is on the Clown Project stuff, I think I could turn that purple or lavender. Which I guess there is already lavender. So, that's another color, but getting it to stay is a whole other thing. You almost have to have it into a snow project to get it to stay lavender. But that is another color. I don't think that. I mean, the blue you might be able to create lavender that looks bluish, but we'll have to see. I've seen stargazing that is only present in the visuals. Hets do not show it in my experience. Interesting. So the NDBE, whatever letters it is, I always get them confused because I don't work with it. Just had somebody say that the hets don't stargaze, but the visuals can stargaze here and there. Are you going to have any bell clowns available? Possibly. Just have to see what I produce this year, and then I kind of want to refine it before I really release any, so that they look really, really cool. Purple head tang. Purple head tangs are really cool. I've always been a fan of those, even whenever John didn't even have them named purple head tangs. It's kind of funny. I didn't even realize that I named them. Like that was somebody else told me that, and then I looked on his website, and he was like, "Yeah, like actually you did." John's a great guy. Awesome geckos. Yeah, I'll definitely be making more of these. We're about 70 minutes into it right now, so I'll show you guys the clown female real quick, and then I'm gonna head off for now. But hit me up on the Facebook page and the Instagram page. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see, and if you want to see anything in particular, and then I'll try to make some videos of what you guys are requesting. And then that way they're for you guys forever, because I'll never take them off of YouTube unless YouTube takes them down. So, all right, she's probably going to be really freaking upset. I actually took her to the Long Island Reptile Show yesterday so people could see her, and yeah, she's just awesome. So there she is. She's pretty calm. Huh. But her red stripe is freaking amazing. So I can't wait to breed her back to her dada and see what happens with those two. Because I think I can make that stripe even darker, which would be pretty cool. And then I'm gonna try to cross that into a Black Knight situation too. So that would be pretty awesome. But hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll do more of these lives, and you guys can comment and kind of run the show, ask me questions and stuff like that. But really appreciate all you guys hanging out, and I will talk to you guys another time. I got to learn how to turn this thing off. Oh no! How do I even shut it off? Oh, maybe just exit out. End.